This is a demonstration of the EFM5 create standby command. I have right now a cluster running. There are 4 nodes in it. I've provisioned 5 nodes here. The agent on node 5 is not running yet. I'm using host names to make this kind of easier to read, but it doesn't matter if you're using host names or IP addresses. So the primary is node 1. That's this window at the top left. It has 3 standbys so far. They're all using replication slots. I've set this up with TPA exec, so the wall keep size is 0, and they're using slots, which is just a good idea in general. So over here on node 5, the way this works is you need to have the EFM information set up like you would for any other node. So the properties files is the properties file on this node is all filled out, has information like the data dir where we're going to create PG data, the location of PGCTL, all of this kind of information that's in there, and we're going to start the agent. The agent will come up in idle mode because there's no database running. We can see over here on this one, just clear the screen. You can see that it's come up as idle. One other change with EFM5.0 is there's no longer a startup script. Instead, you can just do the most sort of natural thing and just do a status to get this information instead. This also addresses an issue where you could not send startup logs to different locations like you could agent logs. So now every cluster just has its own output. It's just in systemd, journal CTL, whatever. And you can see from just the same startup information you're used to seeing, there's a little new stuff like it's making sure it can connect to other nodes or whatever. Anyway, it's starting up, but it's in idle mode. I didn't do the wrapping. So there's this new command, create standby. Create standby. We'll create a standby database in this node. It takes 2 options that are optional. The first is prompt, which I'll do the first time just so you can see it, and the other is a slot to be created. So we're going to run create standby. You have to give it the cluster name just like with everything else so it knows where to find the right information. We're going to tell it to prompt, and we're going to tell it to create a slot. The other ones are let's just make sure we don't use a name that's already in use. We'll just say N5 for node 5. So it connects to the agent, which is already running here, that idle agent. It figures out who the primary is so that it knows who to do a PG-based backup from. It will do a quick check just to make sure you're not running it from the primary node. It won't let you do that. It will tell the local agent to run the stop command and run the database stop command and become idle if the standby database is already running. In this case, it's not. It will tell the primary to drop that slot if it already exists, so it takes care of all the stuff for you, and then it removes the data directory, and this is the command that it's going to run. It's going to do it as the user you've set in the properties file, in this case Postgres. It's also getting the bin directory from the props file. It's getting the data directory from the props file. It's going to create the slot. Here it is, the slot name N5. It's going to tell it to create it on the primary. There's the host. The port comes from the properties file, and the application name comes from the properties file. So you don't need to put in any of this information. Really, it's just the slot you want to create. So it tells the local agent what to do. You can see that the slot did not already exist on the primary, so it didn't have to do anything there. Did the PG-based backup, started the database. It waits a little bit, and then it resumes. Just so you know, it doesn't try to resume forever. It only kind of makes a quick resume check because this is a manual command. And so if there was some problem, then manually you can check the database logs to see what's going on. So here, let's see, we just checked the slots. We can see that the slot was created and is in use. And just let me clear this up and show the cluster status. And there we go. So now that standby database has been added to the cluster, and the EFM agent has automatically resumed. So let's run it again just to show a couple other things. This time let's do it without the prompt. which is more useful for tooling and stuff, or you just if you know that it's going to do what you want it to do, and we'll just sort of kick that off. So it has found the primary node, all that same stuff it did before. It has stopped the database on this node, and it made the agent go idle, and then it just did all the same stuff. You can see that it removed it did remove the slot N5 on the primary node, so we don't end up with multiple ones. If it didn't drop that, of course, this wouldn't work. And so basically it just blew away the old database and brought this back up again. So this is especially useful in testing if you ever get in a situation where your standby's out of sync because of just some switchovers and killing nodes, and then more switchovers bringing stuff back up. Just the kind of stuff you normally do when you're hacking at things. So it can be used for creating a standby in the first place, or for recreating one that you just you want to get rid of and recreate. And we can see that it should be that all the wall is kind of advanced on this. Just checking it again. There we go. So everything's up to date, ready to go, and that is it. In future releases, we will be adding more features to it, more PG-based backup options and some other things. But this is it for now. You can see that it gets a lot of information already built in from the props file, and then of course the slot name that you can give it when you run the command.